We all love a classic superhero saga, right? But sometimes, if you peel back the layers of capes and cosmic battles, you find something else entirely. Today, we're digging into one of those stories to uncover a profound philosophical parable that's been hiding in plain sight. This isn't just about a hero saving the world, it's about what it takes for a god to save himself. So let's just jump right in with the big question that frames this whole thing. Is a perfect savior a hero? Or a monster? I mean, think about it. If a being has the power to create a perfect, orderly world, is that heroic? Or does that very perfection open the door to the ultimate kind of tyranny? So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the story as it was originally told. Then, we're going to make a sharp philosophical turn, look at the characters in a totally new light, and retell the whole thing as a journey away from perfection, all leading to this incredible act of self-creation. Okay, section 1. To really get where we're going, we have to understand where this all started. And for decades, the story of Adam Warlock has really been seen through one main lens, this idea of him as a space Jesus. And what's really wild is that this whole Messiah interpretation wasn't an accident. Not at all. Back in 1972, the editor Roy Thomas took this kind of blank slate character, who was just called him, and get this, inspired by the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar, he deliberately rebuilt him from the ground up to be a superhero savior. So the stage was set for this new religious drama. You've got this godlike character, the high evolutionary, we'll call him the gardener, and he creates a perfect paradise, Counter-Earth. But of course, this perfect garden gets corrupted. It's overrun by what the comic calls weeds of sin and strife, all thanks to a villain called the Man-Beast. And this is where Warlock gets his mission from on high. The gardener gives him a job to do. But his role is super specific. He's not supposed to be a conqueror or a king. No, he's meant to be a shepherd, a guide to heal this broken world. I mean, the biblical parallels here are about as subtle as a hammer. And if you break it down, it's basically a Messiah by the numbers story. It follows this perfect 5-step formula. He gets his commission, along with a soul gem that's literally a piece of his creator's soul. He goes through his trials, gets betrayed, has a selfless death, gets resurrected, in a cave no less, and then finally has his ascension into the heavens. It's a textbook allegory. Okay, so that's the story we all know, the classic version. But what if? What if you could take that exact same structure and build something totally different with it? This is where we make our big philosophical pivot. This quote right here is the key to everything. I love this analogy. The original story is the foundation of the house, but we're about to see how it can be repurposed, changing it from a cathedral for a god into a workshop for a creator who's learning how to actually be alive. So here's the crucial difference. We're shifting from external salvation to internal salvation. The Space Jesus story is all about being saved by some higher power, fighting some bad guy out there. The weary creator parable? That's about saving yourself, from your own destiny. And the main philosophical tool we're going to use to unpack this is an idea from Nietzsche called self-overcoming. And honestly, it's a pretty straightforward concept. It basically says that the greatest freedom you can achieve doesn't come from beating your enemies. It comes from conquering your own limits, from destroying the destiny that was written for you. All right, so with that idea of self-overcoming in our back pocket, let's see how it completely transforms the characters. They're not just heroes and villains anymore. They become these huge, archetypal forces in a grand cosmic drama. This table lays it all out perfectly. First up, Adam Warlock is no longer a savior, he's the weary child. He's so powerful and wise that he's become totally weary of it all. Next, the high evolutionary becomes the gardener, who represents the old ways, the desire for a sterile, perfect moral order. And finally, the villain, the Magus, becomes the shadow. He's the devil on Warlock's shoulder, the embodiment of the tyrannical monster he's fated to become. So let's retell the story with this new perspective. And this time, it doesn't start with a heroic calling. It starts with a deep cosmic sickness. This is a descent from perfection. In this version, that golden cocoon isn't a glorious birthplace. It's a prison of perfection. Warlock has this thing called cosmic awareness, which sounds cool, but it's a curse. He can see every possible future, and that includes the one where he becomes an absolute tyrant. He's literally suffocating on his own perfect knowledge. And this completely flips his motivation on its head. He accepts the gardener's mission, not out of some noble duty, but because he's desperate to feel something, anything. He actively chooses the pain and struggle of being a shepherd because it's so much better than the empty, agonizing boredom of being a god in a cage. And this path, this choice, leads him to the real climax of the story. The final battle isn't about saving a planet anymore. It's about saving his own soul. It's about slaying the god within. So who's the final boss in this version? It's not some cackling bad guy. The ultimate tyrant he has to face is the Magus. It's his own inevitable, perfect, all-powerful future self. So how do you defeat your own fate? How do you do the impossible? Well, you have to kill your future. And this right here, this is the philosophical heart of the whole thing. By killing the Magus, Warlock performs what you could call a suicide of the ego. It is the ultimate act of self-overcoming. He literally destroys his own fate to become free. And in doing that, he saves Adam, the imperfect man, by killing the god, the perfect tyrannical being he was supposed to become. And this is where we just completely flip the original ending. Remember that ascension into space? Well, in our parable, it's not an ascension at all. It's a symbolic descent. It's a conscious choice to reject godhood and instead embrace the messy, chaotic, beautiful dirt of the earth. And this newfound freedom is defined by one last concept, amor fati. It's a Latin phrase that means love of one's fate. It's not just about accepting what happens to you, good or bad. It's about actively loving it, choosing it, and seeing every single moment as necessary. And so, after slaying the god inside him, he is finally free to live. He embraces it all, so much that he'd choose to live his chaotic life over and over again for eternity. And he says yes to existence, not with quiet reverence, but with a joyful, free, high, ringing laughter. Just a powerful, powerful end to a story that's not about being a savior, but about learning how to truly live.